So let's see the main features that we can add in our application. So one of them is this articles. So these are in the form of cards. So this can be treated as one article and it can have certain properties. So let's see what all properties can we have in this article. So one of them is the title of this article, the description. This article has been posted by some person, his name and the time. So apart from these details in an article, we have some other details like the image as well as the categories. So I think the category are mapped in one-to-many fashion. So let's say this one article can have multiple categories. So it's one-to-many relationship. That is one article and many categories. But we'll look at categories and image later on, and we'll focus on the CRUD operations for these. So let's fill in the details for Spring Initializer. So I'll be using Maven as a build tool. We'll keep this as it is and let's fill this. So I filled in the details for this and we'll be naming our service as InShort service, and this would be the package name. So let's add a few dependencies. So I'll be having Spring MVC dependency, that is Spring Web. I'll be also having Lombok. Then we'll add MySQL and finally Spring Data JPA. So that's it. So we will be adding more dependency whenever required. So let's generate this project. So this is our project. So let's import this project. So if the dependencies would be loading for the first time, it might take some time. So it might take 2 to 3 years to load this dependency depending on your internet connection and your processor speed. Just kidding. If you're not new to Spring Boot, you can skip this part. So I've basically selected project files. So we have multiple folders and packages inside this. So let's explore it one by one. So the first thing that's most important is the pom.xml file. So it contains all the dependencies that's required. The dependencies are nothing but the jar files that are required to run a particular framework or this project. So the first dependency that we have is for Spring Data JPA. So all the CRUD operations that we'll be dealing with would be done with the help of this Spring Data JPA. So Spring Web dependency is one of the most important dependencies. So it helps us define our REST endpoints, which we call as RESTful Web Services. Then we have MySQL dependency because we'll be using MySQL as a database. So if you're using Postgres, SQL or some other database like H2, you can use that dependency. Finally, we have Lombok dependency. So this is used for reducing our boilerplate code, such as reducing our getter setters, constructors, and many other things. Finally, we have test dependencies, which are used for executing test cases, specifically JUnits. So let's move to folder structure, which is most important right now, and that is our main source. So only one file comes out of the box when we import the project, that is this application. So this is basically a main application which runs our Tomcat server as well as the Spring Boot application. So this is the annotation that makes it possible, and it defines that this is the Spring Boot application. So if you open this annotation, you can check all the meta annotations that has inside this. So you have the component scan annotation, you also have a configuration annotation, and you also have enable auto configuration. So for those of you who are very new to Spring Boot, so let's talk about the project structure and some various important files. Now let's look at the source folder. So it contains two folders. So the first one is a main folder that will contain all the Java code, and the second one is the test. We'll not look at the test code for now. So any code that contains JUnit test cases will come under this folder. So let's focus on the main folder. So it contains two folders. One is our Java folder, which will contain all our Java code, and the second one is the resources. So our main file to focus here is application.properties. So application.properties is basically a file that contains a key value pair, just like in a hash map. So one such example of key value would be server.port. So by default, the port on which your application would run would be 8080. So with this line, you're saying that I'll be changing the port to 8081. So there are two types of properties file. So one is application.properties and another is application.yaml. So we'll be using application.yaml. So whenever we'll start writing the code, we'll discuss what application.yaml is and how is it different from application.properties. But yeah, you can use any of the file with which you are comfortable with. Finally, we are inside the main Java source code. So this contains our main application. So this was the default base package. So any files you will be making it inside this package. So let's say you want to add another package. So we'll be adding this as a base package, and then you'll be including any other thing, and that will check out later. So this is our main application file which runs the Tomcat server, and inside that our main application runs. The best thing about Spring Boot is it contains this main method that you can run directly with the help of java-jar command, or you can just simply do a right click and run as main method. So let me quickly talk about what this annotation is. So this is an important annotation. So first of all, this tells that this is a Spring Boot application. If you go inside this annotation, you will find some meta annotations. So there are three meta annotations, which are enable auto configuration, component scan, as well as configuration. So these annotations by themselves are a huge topic. So if you want to summarize it, so enable auto configuration is one of the features of Spring Boot, so which tells that you need to enable the auto configuration. So what auto configuration basically means that we have a bunch of annotations called add conditional. So there is a concept of beans in Spring Boot. So it says that whenever some particular jars are present in the class path, then only you will create bean of that particular class. So let's take an example of this. If you go to this file called spring.factories, which is present inside this jar called Spring Boot auto configure. So this is basically present inside your libraries folder. There are a list of files that it checks. So one such file is rabbit auto configuration, and then I'll just quickly find this file. So this file is also present in this jar. What we mainly need to say is that this bean would only be created, that is this bean, when this file would be present in your class path, and this file would only be present when you include a RabbitMQ dependency, that is this dependency. So you might not able to understand the meaning of all this, but if you work long enough in Spring Boot, you'll be able to gradually understand that. So the next annotation is component scan. It scans your base package and it sees which all beans that it needs to create. And finally we have configuration. This just makes this file or this class as a configuration. So I won't be going into detail into these annotations because they might be a separate video in itself and they might take a lot of time to discuss. So that was it for the boring stuff. So let's write the code.